Seven Drunken Nights, the story of the Dubliners, presented by Prestige Productions, returns to theatres in the UK and Ireland from the 1st of March. Now, due to popular demand, there are a bumper 50 plus dates. You can visit sevendrunkennights.com/tickets for venues and to book. Now, friends of our show, Ged Graham, the narrator and lead vocalist, is welcome back to tell us the refinements that have been made since the last season. Ged, great to speak to you once again.
Oh, it's great to be on air with you, Jerry. Lovely to meet you again.
Ged, it's remarkable that the founding members of the Dubliners have passed away, yet their legacy lives on. Their songs are familiar to all generations, but you must take pride in bringing the story behind the story, I should say, even to the audiences.
Yes, I mean, it's a great privilege for us. I think for all Irish people and for all folk people who are into folk music, the Dubliners are such an iconic band, and as you say, sadly, as we all get older, but all of the original members, apart from John Sheehan, has passed away, and it's we wanted to tell the story of the Dubliners, how these sort of five guys from Dublin really took the world by storm in the 60s and became such an iconic group and really paved the way for, I think, every other Irish act that came after them.
Indeed. Now, previous performances of your show have gone down an absolute storm, but for anyone thinking of seeing the show for the first time, or indeed those who will no doubt want to go and see it again, it's significant that you've made some enhancements to the set. So,
we certainly have. I mean, we've invested an awful lot of money into better AV, which is the moving footage that's on the big screen behind us. So we've had some custom-made screens done. We've got some new scenery done. We've created a more enhanced Irish bar, and we've got a recording studio in there. So we spent, an awful lot of money to enhance the production of the show, and then we've also sort of gone back to the drawing board with the story. We felt a little bit that we weren't telling as much of the story as we possibly could in the time that we had. So we've gone back to the rescript of the show, and we feel that we've got a far, far better show, far stronger production, and definitely a more visually pleasing production for all our audience.
So the scene is set perfect to introduce the original band members. Now, certainly Ronnie Drew, Luke Kelly and Barney McKenna were towering figures, but you also feel strongly that Kieran Burke's footnote in history shouldn't be underestimated.
No, I mean, certainly. I mean, sometimes people do just, they sort of skip over Kieran Burke, and to me, he was one of the originals. He was a phenomenal musician, a fantastic tin whistle player. He sang all the Irish language songs within the band, and if you think in the 60s on their albums, they were putting Irish language songs in there. That was a huge sort of, for me as an Irishman, a huge sort of compliment to them, that they took the brave steps to sing in their own native language as well as in English and cover the social and political songs of the time. Well, Kieran was a great musician, a great tin whistle player, as I said, a great guitar player, a great exponent of the comedy ballad, and he was just a wonderful part of the band that sometimes just gets forgotten, but we certainly don't forget about him in the show.
Right, now we must mention the recent passing indeed of Eamon Campbell, who played with the Dubliners for 25 years. It was my pleasure to speak to Eamon actually on the show. Eamon was not only an accomplished guitar player, but also produced a string of top-selling records, including the Irish Rover by the Dubliners and the Pogues. You met Eamon?
Oh yeah, I met Eamon on several occasions. And he came in. He was they remained a four-piece for many, many years. As you know, Kieran Burke had a brain aneurysm and then had to leave the band. And when he passed away, the lads invited Eamon to come and join on a permanent basis. But he was a very accomplished musical director and producer. And he started off with a band called the Pat Jackson Band up in Drogheda. Now, most young musicians usually have an older musician that takes them under their wing. And that happened with me when I was about 15, 16 years old. There was a guy in Manchester named Chris, and his wife was called Helen. And Helen's dad was Pat Jackson, and Pat Jackson had his show band, the Pat Jackson Show Band, as I said, and Dermot O'Brien was the accordion player with them, and Eamon Campbell was the guitar player. Now, Eamon then married one of Pat's daughters, who was then Helen's sister. And then when I was in working with Chris, almost many years ago, and he took me under his wing, Eamon used to come over when they would stay in Manchester and stay at Chris's house, or he used to come out on gigs with us, and but that was way before the Dubliners time, and he was just a wonderful guitar player, a great storyteller, and a really nice man to meet and give encouragement to young musicians as he did to me.
Right, and I believe he actually spent some time with Dermot O'Brien and the Clubmen back in the day.
That's right, yeah. Well, as I say, Dermot O'Brien started off with the Pat Jackson Band, and so Eamon was with the Clubmen for a long while. And I think, like all of us, I mean, I started off in the Irish Show Band in Manchester back in the late 70s, and so you kind of cut your teeth in the dance halls and then move on from there. But Eamon was an exceptional musician, and he had a fantastic musical mind. His arrangement of music, is evident in his productions with not only the Dubliners but the Paddy Riley stuff that he'd done. Exceptional.
Indeed, interesting story, I must say. Now we've reviewed 7 Drunken Nights, and I've also had a lot of feedback from listeners. A standout point is the immense respect you clearly have for them. Now, there's no attempt in the production to mimic, but rather to tell the story and to celebrate the music.
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of, say, tribute bands out there who sort of dress and look alike and sound alike the band that they're impersonating. And I didn't really want to do that. I've got too much respect for the Dubliners and the legacy to even attempt to do that. And I think it'd be very disrespectful. What we try to do is to tell the story of these sort of phenomenal musicians who made such an impact for Irish music across the globe, and to bring the music to life with an energy that I always felt sort of started to drift away over the last few years. You can go hear how many times can you hear the Irish Rover or the Wild Rover or the Black Velvet Band in a pub on Paddy's Day?
Indeed.
And sometimes you go, it's the same old, and we wanted to inject that sort of energy that the Dubliners had back in the 60s and 70s.
Right. And now, who's on stage with you, Ged?
Well, there's myself, of course, and then we've got 2 other principal vocalists. We've got Billy Barton, who is a native Dubliner like myself, and he's a great storyteller. And then we've got Danny Muldoon, who is Manchester-born to Irish parents, Mayo and Wicklow. And then we've got on banjo and vocals, we've got the wonderful Paddy Ryan, who's both parents are Irish. And then we've got the Donegal fiddler, Conor Elliott, who's a Donegal-born musician, a fantastic sort of interpreter of the fiddle. And we bring the music to life, and hopefully people enjoy themselves, which you seem to be doing.
Indeed. So the sum of the parts certainly adds up to give people one great night out, and they can enjoy and join indeed in the singing, leaving people with a big smile on their faces on the way home.
Well, that's what we want to do. I mean, this is really very much, the audience's show. We want people to come through the door, sit down, enjoy the night, sing along, join in. If they want to get up and dance, they can get up and have a dance. Or maybe the theatres won't like it too much, but we just want people to go and have a great Irish night out, to come out of the theatre having, feel a bit uplifted. We live in dark times, and, bills are coming in left, right and centre, and the world's in turmoil. We just want to have a couple of hours where we can revisit our Irishness and have a great night out.
Indeed. Now, I know that you particularly relish the meet and greet at the end of each show, and the stories the audience members tell you about experiences of encounters with the Dubliners, listening to the music and all the rest of it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we always come out at the end of the night, the cast members. We like to meet the people who've taken the time to come and see our show, and it's a big deal for people to go to the effort of going and booking the tickets, getting dressed up, come out for a night out, and then it'd be disrespectful if I just went off home and jumped in the van. I want to come out and say, you know, a personal thank you for people to come along. And they bring some great stories, you know. There's lots of people bring out sort of photographs of themselves with Ronnie and Luke and Barney, and and sharing their experiences and their love for the Dubliners. It's almost like, you know, we're meeting people who have the same kind of background and the same kind of passion for the music, and that's always good to hang around with people that you like.
Indeed. Now, as we know, there are some pubs and clubs are on the way now. I know it gives you great satisfaction to give people an opportunity to get out for a real Irish hoolie, as you said. Now, you please critics and the public alike with more than 50 favourite songs punctuating narration and original film footage. Now, the show has everyone participating in the classics, as you mentioned, the Wild Rover, Black Velvet Band, McAlpine's Fusiliers, of course, Seven Drunken Nights itself.
Yeah,
and it's uplifting and nothing beats the live entertainment. Now, you're a co-creator and performer. Clearly, you're getting a real buzz from bringing the show on stage, as you say.
Oh yeah, I mean that's, you know, for me it's that's the real sort of I'd say the real buzz for me. I love performing anyhow, and I have done since I was, you know, a young child, and I've played professionally in various bands and solo since I was 14 years old, which is a long time ago, over 40 years ago. But the thing that I do really get the buzz out of is sitting down with that blank piece of paper and saying, you know, how can I bring these ideas in my head to life? And, you know, say, well, you know, how can I make it the best experience for the listener and the audience member? You know, how can I make them feel, you know, really happy and uplifted when they walk out of that theatre? And that's the joy of being a writer, is that you can sit down with that blank piece of paper and work it out bit by bit on how you're going to do it, and how you're going to lift them up at one point and then, you know, drop it down a little bit, how you can be respectful to the songs, how you can be respectful to the individuals. It's, you know, it's a huge challenge, but it's very, very rewarding.
Excellent. Now, your enthusiasm, I'll have to say, Ged, is infectious. Seven Drunken Nights, the story of the Dubliners, opens on the 1st of March and runs until the 6th of May. You can see the website 7drunkennights.com/tickets, Facebook, and also our website, irishradio.org. Ged, I hope to catch up one of your performances this time round. Listen, thanks for updating us, and listen, wish you all the luck in the world on the tour.
Thanks a million, Jerry, and thank you for taking the time to speak to me today. It is really much appreciated.
A real pleasure, Ged.
I spent all me money on women and beer, and now I'm returning with old in great store. Sure, I never will play the Wild Rover no more. It's no, they never, all together. No, they never no more.